evening, partner. So, Chal, what's on the table?
Good evening, Iko. Good evening to our Go Negosyo Big Time viewers. What's on the table, Iko? Ito yung business kung saan palagi mong maririnig yung kasabihang, the devil's in the detail. Devil.
Parang narinig ko na nga yan. Alam mo, the Germans have a word for it. Ito yung finger... Teka lang ha, basahin ko na yung script. Fingerspitzing... Ikaw.
Ano nga yan?
Ayun o, yan.
Fingerspitzing falls. Alam mo, Iko, basahin nila ng mga viewers natin dito, okay? I'm sure mababasa nila yan.
That basically means fingertip feeling. Ibig sabihin, you have to be sensitive in all aspects of your business.
That's because business conditions are constantly changing. Kailangan lagi kang alert sa mga problems para maka-react or act ka towards them.
Positively, of course.
At that's right, Iko, kasi ito yung business kung saan everyone's always on the edge, where the clock's always going tick-tock, tick-tock.
Teka lang. Alam mo, medyo naiintriga na ako eh. Ano nga ba yung episode natin for tonight?
Well, to you, Iko, and our viewers, our episode for tonight is publishing.
Uy, interesting yan ah. Kaya guys, please stick around dito lang sa pinakabigating business show. My name is Iko.
And I'm Chal.
This is Go Negosyo Big Time. Posible!
Publishing is basically putting either on paper or in digital format different content. A publishing company usually has a publisher who oversees the entire publications process. A publications process, in the case of magazines, usually starts with the first editorial meeting down to a final art submission and then eventually printing. But of course, before we get into the editorial process, we decide first what kind of product we will be launching. So if you're asking me what in a nutshell is publishing, it's putting either in digital form or in print form different content for people to learn from, experience, or enjoy.
There are two kinds of publishers, the independent publisher and the custom magazine publisher.
Ano naman ang pagkakaiba nun dalawang yun?
Actually, when you think about it, it's not really a very valid way of looking at the business. Most people would normally categorize it as like may independent ka, you have a custom section. It would be better siguro to think about it in terms of quantity of titles published. Custom kasi, for example, it's a category of its own in the sense that you don't create titles of your own creation. It's something that you do for other companies. Like for example, a corporation would like to make an internal magazine for their employees and they contract you to do that. Or in our case, we do a lot of community newsletters and magazines also. If we create those sorts of things, I guess you could categorize as a customs publication company. Basically, ganun ang the way you should look at the publishing industry. Okay, an independent publisher is basically, it's not that kind of a business where you have categories like that. When you say independent, it's more in the quantity or the number of publications the company creates. Independent might mean just one or two titles, and they may not be affiliated with a bigger company, but yun. A bigger company would have several titles spread out across. That's a very basic thing. It doesn't apply to just siguro the publishing industry. It applies to anything created by people. Public domain is something that has been in siguro at first it had intellectual rights, but because of a certain limitation in the law, after a certain period of time, it becomes public domain, meaning pwede nang gamitin ng kahit sino without getting permission from anyone and not paying anyone anything. If it's not within the public domain, ayun, that's where the legal stuff comes in. If you're talking about intellectual property rights as far as the content of the magazine is concerned, pag kinontrata namin na gagawin yung article for the magazine, kaming may-ari nun, it cannot be reprinted anywhere else. The content remains our property. Also, the rights to the pictures are sort of like hindi pwedeng gamitin sa ibang publication. They have to secure our permission. The converse or the reverse works also kasi we cannot use naman material already made for other publications unless we secure permission, or we cannot just blindly reprint something from, let's say, getting from a website and putting it in the magazine. It works both ways. Yun ang intellectual, I guess, the complications of property rights as far as the...
Myth or fact? Myth or fact? Myth. Since the work is in public domain, I don't have to clear any permissions.
Fact. Not necessarily. Public domain only refers to the lack of copyright protection.
If you want to know more about the publishing business, all you have to do is sit back, relax, and when we return, we'll let you know why they say the devil's in the details.
Babalik pa po ang Go Negosyo
Big time! Sequence!
Ano ang nakaka-attract sa inyo para bilhin ang isang bagong magazine?
Siyempre yung front page, yung mga cover, yung cover boys.
Yung niya, yung story sa loob. Yung cover page.
Sa cover, siyempre sa cover, yung mga sexy.
Kasi yung minsan doon madaming mababasang tsaka horoscope.
Yung nilalaman niya, the topics. Sometimes the front picture. I like yung mga pang-fashion, yung mga ganyan.
Sequence!
Songits po. Newspaper, madalas din. Pero mas madalas talaga song.
Magazine. Nandito yung hilig ko yung mga true story.
Libro.
Inquirer, more news, may mga balita. Sports, may sports. Diaryo po.
Yung para sa showbiz, gano'n.
It's actually books. Yung story kung nakasulat sa front page.
Actually, hindi man ako nagbabasa, pero dati nagkaroon kami Maximo magazine. Wala, nakita ko lang siya sa amin, pero hindi talaga siya akong bumili. Parang nasa bahay lang namin. Nakita ko, binasa ko niya.
Welcome back to Go Negosyo Big Time. Just like any other business, nagsisimula ang lahat sa planning.
Paano nga ba ang planning sa isang publishing business?
At magkano nga ba ang kapital na kailangan?
Siyempre, ang mga makinarya.
There are a couple of very important things that one needs to be able to set up his or her own magazine business or publishing business if ever. Number one, first and foremost, is to be able to identify a particular need in the market. If you don't have that particular need identified, it's hard for you to come out with that big idea to serve that particular need. And as soon as you have that particular idea to serve that particular need, then you now come out with a realistic structure, staff-wise, to serve that particular need, to do that particular idea. And once you have that in mind, of course, the budget will come in. Publishing, especially for print publishing, depending on the frequency of your publication, the amount of capital is very critical. My advice is, before getting into the publications business, be sure that you have a clear idea of the frequency of your publication, the necessary resources to serve that big need using that big idea, and at the same time, you have that good financial study of your business.